Today we are headed towards a smaller village called Corsham. So come with me and Gigi and let's go check out the village. Okay, so let's start with the big draw of Corsham. So the big draw is the high street. I mean, there's a lot of things that probably pull people to visit this area, but the high street is kind of the big tourist attraction, if you will. It is so cute and it is just so absolutely historical and amazing. So Corsham is a really old village, but it only began being called Corsham, I believe, in the early 1600s. So the name Corsham has kind of evolved over time. And traditionally, this was a town that really, or a village that really focused on the wool trade in medieval times, which is why you will see so many weavers' cottages in this area and so many properties referred to as a weaver's cottage, including one that my husband and I almost purchased. But a lot of these buildings that I'm showing you are grade 1 or grade 2 listed, which means they have been protected as historical significance in England. So basically, if you purchase one of these properties, you have to maintain the look of it to some degree because they are so historical and so relevant. So they want to protect that in the town's look. But yeah, so this is the high street and it is beautiful. Okay, let's talk about the literary connection. So like many places in this area, supposedly it has some Charles Dickens connections here. So you can see there with my very shaky camera work, this is Dickens Avenue. And this is in a little area called Pickwick, which you might immediately recognize as supposedly the inspiration for the Pickwick Papers or the Pickwick Club. Which is a Dickens novel. So this is called the Methuen Arms. I think that is the way you pronounce this, the Methuen Arms. And this is a Georgian inn that has a pub and a restaurant that, again, supposedly Dickens had a connection to, visited, stayed at, etc. And that has showed up in some of his writing, again, supposedly, the inspiration, that is. But this is a great segue into what's for lunch. I love the way that they took that literary reference, and this was how our table was reserved with this book on it that said books, which I loved, and I did open it up. This was a really nice place, and I do highly recommend it. So what I had the Atlantic Coley, which is this beautiful fish. I pronounced it Coley. Apparently it's pronounced Coley, with these butter beans, which I'd never had before, with this sauce, and it was 10 out of 10. Okay, so let's look at some cool things in Corsham. So first I want to start with St. Bartholomew's Church. This is an incredible church. The tombstones and everything just have such a very Gothic vibe to it. It's beautiful. And luckily there was some people inside, so I was able to get some footage. I didn't get to see the tombs as long as I wanted to because there was just a lot of people and a lot of things going on. But the stained glass and the carvings inside are absolutely breathtaking and spectacular, as are the archways. Highly recommend. The next bit is called the Burlington Bunker, and this is a huge Cold Era underground city that was built starting in the late 1950s in case of nuclear fallout. And this was only declassified in 2004. Quick shout out here to the urban explorer who got to explore this bunker. So the urbanexplorer.co.uk, they have some pictures where they went inside the Burlington Bunker. Highly recommend if you're interested. This is a great place to get more information. And I got as close as I could. The issue is the Ministry of Defense is very close by because they own and run the bunker and sit on top of the bunker. And when I tell you that I just got so nervous about filming this area, I mean, we were filming from the road and everything was on board and fine. But just imagine that all of this underneath is a bunker. I think it is actually just a little bit further south than this. To Wikipedia and other sources that I used to verify, this bunker was over 60 miles of roads, of city. It had hospital and stores, post office, it had bakery. I mean, it had everything. So this was meant to house over 4,000 government employees if needed. So that is how huge this is. But it is a huge underground city. I could not believe that this was just in the middle of this historical village. It was crazy. And we did try, as I say, to get as close as we could. We could have gotten a little bit closer to the actual field and the fenced off area and where the supposed entrance to the bunker is. But I don't know, guys. Like, I just got really nervous. And as we were taking footage, in fact, you'll see here in a second, some helicopters started to fly around above us. And that's when I was like, yeah, I've done what I'm comfortable with. I guess it's a reminder that with urban exploring also comes being cognizant of laws and where you are. Quick pop culture callouts. This is Corsham Court. It's been used in a ton of things, but Corsham and Corsham Court have recently been used in a Disney Plus series called Rivals. So you do have to pay to go in here, so I didn't get any closer this day because I didn't have time, unfortunately, but you can see how beautiful it is. And it's been rebuilt over time. I'm going to show you part of the original wall that's kind of left standing right here. Yeah, so currently this is used in a lot of filming locations. Finally, a couple of don't misses. First of all are the walks. So this is just a walk through town, and there's some alleyways and some walkways that are absolutely breathtaking and feel like you're walking back into time. So definitely check out those. Finally, no trip to Corsham is complete without seeing the beautiful peacocks. They were introduced in Corsham Court in the 1920s, and they have stayed ever since. And they are very used to people, and they just free roam the streets, and it is so fun and so incredible to see them. So we caught this mommy and her chicks, I suppose they're called chicks, and they were just kind of hanging out, and then we saw this beautiful male just a little bit further down the road. So definitely make sure that you see the peacocks in Corsham when you're in Corsham. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. I'm working on a very, very large video that I filmed in Oxford last week, so that should be coming next week. So here is your little cliffhanger and your spoiler to the next video. But I hope you enjoyed this tour of Corsham. Let me know in the comments down below what you think and if you've been here, and I will see you guys in my next video.